we interrupt our regularly scheduled episode of Bullcity's Ultimate Tactical Team for this special Warhammer Battle Report, already in progress. Welcome back, guys. This is going to be the first game of a 3-game tournament. This is a Coastal Carnage practice tournament we had at Atomic Empire this past weekend. I'm going to be playing Dwarfs in my first game. And the basic comp for this tournament is going to be no special characters, no folding fortress, no double rares, and no triple specials. If you get 2-for-1 specials, you can still take those as normal. So I could take 4 spear checkers, but not 6 spear checkers. They're also letting High Elves take 2 repeater bolt throwers and Dark Elves take 3 repeater bolt throwers. But otherwise, that's the comp. It's not like really banning anything else other than that, but it's something different. And here we're going to look at my Orc army, and yes, Malorian, I am taking a Wyvern, a Lord on a Wyvern. I wasn't brave enough to take 2 Wyverns, but I'm bringing 1. Because I also wanted to have my level 4. I was too scared to try to go in here without also having the level 4. But this is going to be something real different. I'm not taking a Wyvern. I can't remember the last time I took one. Gosh, I mean, it probably might have been early 7th or something. So I'm also taking my level 4. I've got my Scroll Caddy. And I'm going to be taking a horde of trolls. I've never taken a whole full horde of trolls before. I'm excited about this. So I'm going to have 2 hordes instead of just 1 in a 2,500 point game. I'm also going to I'm spending the extra 5 points here to have my battle standard of goblin instead of not goblin to get the extra leadership. Now because of the no double rares, I'm only going to have 1 Doom Diver and 1 Mangler. It's going to be hard not to have it's going to be hard not to have 2 Doom Divers, but I'm going to be happy not to see 2 Iron Blasters and 2 Skill Cannons and all that good stuff. I'd rather only have 1 Doom Diver than face 2 of any of those. Alright, now we're going to take a look at my Dwarf opponent. And it's kind of odd that after a long layoff of not playing Dwarfs forever, this is going to be my 3rd game of against Dwarfs. And like the last 3 tournaments I think I've been in, I played him at Grow Quest and the Doubles tournament. So he's going to have the Rune Lord on the anvil. He's going to have a gigantic unit of Dwarf Warriors. There's more than 50. I think there's close to 60 Dwarf Warriors actually in this unit. He also has a unit, I think it's 10 hammers. I wasn't sure what they were. When I saw him across the table before he deployed, I thought that might have been Rangers or something. And it's possible that's what they were, but he deployed them with Rex's battle line. He's going to have the 2 cannons. The one's going to be a flame cannon, so that's going to make me a little bit nervous about my trolls. But with the little bit of shooting he has, I don't think he can really take out the whole troll horde even during an entire game. So I'm not too worried about it, but I know he can soften them up again enough so that his big horde of warriors can try to get my trolls off this hill. And by hill, and that's our scenario. We're going to be playing King of the Hill. It's like a variant of the Watchtower. And basically you can get 600 victory points if you control the hill at the end of the game. You don't need Fortitude on the hill to control it. But if you do have Fortitude on the hill, you'll get an extra 2 battle points at the end of the game. You also get 3 battle points extra if you do not roll more than 4 dice to cast or dispel during a game. And I see something like this a lot, and I don't like it only because every time I get this scenario for me, I'm always playing somebody else who doesn't have, a caster or has very little magic. I mean, it never happens where I'm playing against, old lizardmen or dark elves or something where they, I'm trying to keep them from casting 30 dice every spell. It always happens when I'm facing somebody who doesn't need magic. And I need to roll a lot of dice to get anything through against a dwarf, so I'm not expecting to get these 3 battle points. So we're going to have a couple look at the deployment here, and the dwarf is, kind of castled in the, over there at the little building, and that doesn't matter too much because you get 600 points for controlling the hill. And when you look at this terrain, Coastal Carnage is going to have 3 scenarios that involves terrain. Now, I don't know if they're going to switch terrain in between games, because one of those scenarios is going to have a river through the middle of the table, and I think I would go crazy if I had to play 5 river games. But for this one, we weren't doing the river scenario, but we were doing King of the Hill, and one that's would have 3 blood forests. So all 3 games are going to have woods and a hill in the center of the table. Only for the blood forest scenario would they be blood forests, otherwise they're just regular forests. So that kind of determined how I've set up a little bit of my army. It made me want to have the Vern because I felt there's being a lot more terrain on the table. And this will look at my vanguards. Also want to note that those little 3 high up spires, we were like playing those as being ruins and not impassable terrain. It didn't matter too much because most of our armies there facing off against his, and those ruins really never come into any play. And Dwarfs win first turn, so this will be Dwarf turn 1. It's going to be a very, very fast turn. Basically, he moves basically none. His anvil is going to make it where my Wyvern can't fly. And I think just the hits it does actually no damage to me at all. Then his flame cannon is going to shoot my trolls, but only do 1 wound to 1 troll, so that his other cannon really has nothing much they can do, so that he doesn't shoot that cannon at my trolls and shoots it at my chariot instead, just on the corner, kills it. Then his hand going to shoot through the woods at my Vanguard and Wolf Riders and wipe them out at the end of his turn. So now Orc and Goblin turn 1, and what happens when you don't have black orcs? My bunker fails animosity, so now my BSB is lagging behind. So that means when I move my trolls up on the hill, I want to keep them in BSB range just in case, so they don't go too much far. And my Wyvern can only march on the ground, so he's lagging behind. We go into magic here. I get Foot of Gorkoff with Irresistible Force. I put it in between the big gigantic unit of warriors and the Thunderers, who have his BSB in it. And I stomp twice, and both times the foot scatters completely off them. I do absolutely no damage at all. My Miscast is a small template. I do 1 wound to my Lord, and I kill a couple of Savage Orcs. That was it for my magic. Going into shooting, my Doom Diver, I'm trying to land that on his Thunderers. It scatters off badly. 2 Spirit Chuckers shoot at either his miners or hammers or whatever. I managed to kill one of them. So, that was my shooting and magic phase. I do absolutely no damage at all. So Dwarf turn 2, he moves up his Longbeards and his miners, hammers, whatever they are, just a little bit. His miners fail to show up. We go into shooting here. His anvil is going to put the Wrath, I think it's called Wrath and Ruin, on my Warfighters you see on the left, kind of scoot up. He only kills one of them, so that saves them from having to take a panic test. His shooting mostly goes into my trolls. He only manages to kill 2 trolls. That's with 2 cannons, his thunders, and an organ gun. So I'm really lucky with that. The flame cannon only does like 1 wound, so that takes my regen away, but he's getting a lot less damage than you expect. And Orc and Goblin turn 2, and this is a complete disaster. My Savage rolled double 1s and have to pick a fight with my bunker, so neither one of them wanted me to move. I'm going to have no magic this turn. This is horrible. I'm going to scoot up my wolves here in front of the hill, trying to tempt one of his units to charge them so my trolls can countercharge. I'm going to move my Wyvern Lord up over here to this hill so that he can't see me with either one of his cannons. I'm going to have no magic. My shooting is going to be inconsequential. I think I kill 1 more hammer, or maybe 2 hammers with my Spirit Checkers. So this is just a completely terrible turn. Dwarf turn 2, he does charge his Longbeards at my Wolf Riders. I decide to hold there. I figure, I don't want him to fail the charge because I want to countercharge my trolls, so I've been sacrificing the Wolf Riders. His miners come in. Then he moves up his rangers, hammers, whatever they are, a little bit. He uses his anvil this time to charge his miners into my Doom Diver. Then he pours shooting into my trolls. He kills 3 of them, and his organ gun goes into my savages and just kills 4 of them. His miners easily take care of my Doom Diver, but their overrun does not take them to the flank of my bunker unit, so I figure I can reform or whatever. In my turn, I'll be fine. His hammers, and his longbeards wipe out my wolf riders and then just reform a little bit. Orcs and Goblins turn 3, and do you want to guess what happened by looking at this picture? That's right, my bunker fails animosity again for the 3rd straight time. So he can't reform to face those miners. My savages fail animosity again for the 2nd time. They can't do anything, and they're 17 inches away from that little dwarf unit, so they can't be forced to charge, which means I'm not going to have any magic again. This is why I spend so many points on black orcs. Alright, so my trolls charge his longbeards. They flee, and then they flee 10 inches, enough so they're 1 inch away from keeping my wyvern for me to charge them off the table. So nothing is going right for me right now. Oh god. My shooting is inconsequential. I think I kill a couple of his rangers, and this is just basically another terrible turn. So dwarf turn 4. His miner's going to charge the flank of my night goblins, and nothing I can do about that. He's going to rally his longbeards. We're going to shooting. He's going to use his anvil again at my wyvern to keep it from flying. Shooting, his organ gun's going to blow itself up, so that's good. It's one good thing. And then the rest of his shooting is going to go into my trolls, trying to whittle them down some more. Going to the combat, I kill 1 miner, or he kills a couple of night goblins. I'm still steadfast. I rolled it on a 7 with a reroll. I forget, for some reason I have a moment where I just forget that wyvern's giving me 18-inch leadership. So I rolled without my general leadership. I'm able to make it, so I stick, so that's good. But then I try to reform, and I fail to reform, so I probably would have been able to reform if I'd remembered that I had that 18 inches. Orcs and Goblins turn 4, and my savage orcs, again, are going to fail animosity. This is driving me completely insane. Alright. My dreams of my savages and trolls going across this table and wiping out this army are now over. I cannot move those savage orcs to save my life. So basically now I just have to hold this hill with my trolls, or hopefully at some point my savages can take the hill. Alright, so I move again. I move Wolf Riders up here trying to get him to charge me. I figure if he does charge me this time, I'm going to flee instead of holding. That way I can charge and he'll be too close to the table edge to try to run away. I'm not going to have any magic again. My shooting is crap. Going into combat, he's going to break my night goblins and run them down. So I lose my BSB and my level 1. The only good thing is that when he runs me down, he lands on my mangler and he wipes himself out in the process. Dwarf turn 5. He charges my Wolf Riders with his gigantic unit of dwarves. So I flee. I'm able to get away. He reforms his Longbeards. Now he's going to try to charge his warriors at my trolls using the anvil. But what happens? He rolls the 1. And then he rolls a 1 again. Yes, the anvil is dead. This is really going to save me. Because now I could not take on those gigantic warrior block. And that was what I was worried about. I figured, I might lose my trolls. But then I could countercharge. But this is even better because the anvil is dead. The rest of the shooting is going to pour into my trolls to try to whittle them down some more. But none of that matters because the anvil is dead. Orcs turn 5. Now it's time for me to try to take advantage of this. I'm going to charge my trolls and my wyvern lord at his longbeards, because if I break them, they'll flee off in direction off the table. I'll be able to get my trolls and wyvern away from his warriors. I'm going to be moving my savages so that they finally pass animosity towards that hill so that I can claim the hill, or he'll be just having regular warriors fighting my savages, which still have over 30 in the unit. so I'm not really worried about those great weapon dwarfs. So I make the charge with both of them. Now going into magic, also I forgot to declare my wog. That's not gonna matter though. I'm gonna go into magic. I'm gonna get irresistible off on Foot of Gork again. I'm gonna stomp 4 times on his thunders because I need to whittle those thunders down some. I'm gonna kill about half the unit. I'm gonna do 2 wounds to the cannon. My miscast is again going to be the small template. I'm not going to wound my lord this time, and I think I'm only going to kill maybe 1 or 2 at the most of my savages. I'm also going to get Fist of Gork first off on my lord as well, because if those little units of dwarfs charge into the flank, make the charge, I want to be able to wipe them out so I'm not forced to pursue from frenzy, because that's the only thing that can keep me from taking this hill. Okay, so now my trolls and my Ravern against his Longbeard. We go into this combat, and between all my troll attacks, my Ravern, my lord and everything, I killed like 14, I think, of his Longbeards. I think he does 1 wound to my Ravern, maybe. He's on Snake Eyes. He's out of BSB range. He rolls Snake Eyes. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. Dwarf turn 6. I'm going to get flank charged by his big gigantic warrior unit. I guess we just skip the combat here because his cannons aren't really going to do much. He's going to break my trolls. I'm going to wipe out his Longbeards first. He's going to break my trolls. The good thing is going to be my Ravern is not going to be in combat anymore because those Longbeards are wiped out. So I don't have to worry about him fleeing. My trolls are going to flee, but I get away from his warriors. Thank goodness. Now if I can just rally them, I'm going to save all those points. I'm going to bottom my turn. I'm going to put my savages on that hill. This game is going to be mine. But Orc and Goblin turn 6. The savages don't want to cooperate. They're going to feign animosity again. But the only good thing is, this time I'm forced to charge. I'm going to have to charge the rear of those dwarfs. And if I make this charge, I should not lose the combat. I might just even be able to break them because I might be able to take Steadfast away from them. But the bad thing is going to be I'm not going to be able to claim the 2 battle points for having that heal. But I failed the charge and I rolled just enough so that my savages are going to be on that hill a little bit so I can get those 2 battle points. I also put my Wolf Riders up there just to make sure I get the 600 victory points. 'Cause I'm going to get it with the savages anyway, but I want to make absolutely sure that I have it with no question at all. Those 600 victory points. I'm going to charge my Ravern into the cannon. My trolls are going to rally. I'm going to save all those points. And I actually would have won by 18 points even if my trolls had fell off the table. But it was good to save those points just to keep it from being worrying. So this game is going to end where I'm going to be up 300 points normally. I'm going to get 600 more bonus points for having this hill. I'm gonna get the win. For Coastal Carnage, you need to win by 251 to get a victory. So if my trolls had fled off the table, I still would have won, but barely. I think I would have won by maybe 20 or 30 points at the most. This was just this crazy game. The anvil dying really saved me. Those savages failing over and over again. My bunker failing over and over again. Animosity. This is what drives you crazy. So yes, this is a victory for the Orcs. I'm going to get 2 bonus points for having Fortitude on the hill. He never rolls a dispel dice the entire game. I get 3 spells off. All 3 of them were with irresistible force. So he couldn't roll spell dice for those. So he's going to get those 3 bonus points. I've rolled 2 spells the entire game, and I rolled 6 dice both times for Foot of Gork. I think I got guess what, I got poison off on my Night Goblins, and I rolled double 6s for that too. I forgot all about that, but so yeah, I rolled two spells with more than 4 dice, and both of them were irresistible. So I don't get those points. I don't know. Animosity just destroys you sometimes, and it just you just don't know what to do. But I mean, even winning though, you just get so mad when you just fail animosity over and over again because I felt like I had a plan and my army didn't want to cooperate with my plan. So hope you guys enjoyed this. My next game is going to be against ogres. This is going to be a scenario with 3 forests, like blood forest, and you get 1 battle point for controlling them at the end of the game. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and feel free to like or comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.